Movement of this storm is to the northeast at about 20 miles per, or the east-northeast at about 20 miles per hour. So the expectation is that this could arrive in western and northwestern Winnebago County, also southeastern Greene County, southeastern Greene County, southwestern Rock County as we move forward in time. It's 7:31 right now for the village of Orangeville itself. Expect an arrival here within the next 6 or 7 minutes, but this is the time to be seeking shelter immediately. Also, Rock Grove will expect an arrival here sometime in the neighborhood of 7:58, and should this storm hold together, Lake Somerset and Davis, those would be towns that could be affected as we get closer to around 8:15 here this evening. Again, it's important to reinforce that a tornado has not yet been sighted or confirmed by any trained spotters, but the National Weather Service, citing the fact that the atmosphere has the characteristics present to support rotating storms, has gone ahead and pulled the trigger with this tornado warning that again will go until 8:15. In all likelihood, it will expire before then. It will likely move out of that area, out of Stevenson County before then, but still the threat right now is for communities such as Orangeville and Rock Grove, and then if the storm holds together, it's going to be a very close call for Lake Somerset. I would tend to think that it'll probably pass just to the north, mainly in the far northwesternmost part of Winnebago County, or also into southeastern Greene County or southwestern Rock County. But this is a storm we most certainly want to watch very closely. We are just getting word from the National Weather Service that a tornado warning will be coming soon for southeastern Greene County and southwestern Rock County here. So that'll come here, and we'll be able to pass along that information for you regarding the specific threat and the expiration times and all that other information. So we'll stay on the air until that warning is issued. As I look at the radar here, I'm not seeing a ton that leads me to believe that there's potential for a significant tornado. But again, the atmosphere is in a state right now where we could very well have a spin up that does take place. Now, we are just getting, you just saw the red that was illuminated in southeastern Greene and southwestern Rock counties for that tornado warning. I'm just going to read this verbatim from the National Weather Service. 7:32, the radar picture, the radar was detecting a storm capable of producing a tornado near Lake Somerset, just to the south of Broadhead. So that's our second storm. That's another cell here that's actually looking to be a little bit more impressive on the radar. That's this cell right here. And as you can see right in here, you see this little notch. That's the part of the storm that could very well be rotating and producing a tornado. So we'll turn the velocity here on and just kind of see. And yeah, we do see a little bit of rotation showing up here just to the north and west of Durand, so near Lake Somerset. So something that we're a little more concerned about. This again for far northeastern Stevenson County, and then more so southeastern Greene County and southwestern Rock County. Again, it's important to note, just as Freeport is not under this tornado warning for Stevenson County, it's important to note that neither Beloit nor Janesville are under these tornado warnings right now. This is for generally rural territory in Rock County. But again, the atmosphere, there's a little warm front that's just kind of positioned just to the, right along the state line. And that's the little lake breeze front is also pushing westward, which is allowing for the atmosphere to take on a profile that is conducive to rotating storms. This warning for southeastern Greene County and southwestern Rock County, that is also going to go until 8:15 here this evening. We just got another little bulletin from the National Weather Service in Chicago, and they're responsible for issuing warnings in Winnebago County. So let's see if there's any indication that a warning could be coming for northwestern Winnebago County. Storm in far northeastern Stevenson County is capable of producing a tornado, monitoring very closely whether it turns right into far northwestern Winnebago County or if it goes just to the north into southern Wisconsin. So that is a possibility, but no warning is imminent for northwestern Winnebago County. And again, that would be Lake Somerset, Davis. Now it does look with that latest scan that that little hook that we see has now just moved into southeastern portions of Greene County. So that's a trend which would be good news. This is the part of the storm that I'd be most concerned about, basically hugging the Illinois-Wisconsin state line over far northeastern Stevenson County, now moving into southeastern Greene County and southwestern Rock County. Again, from our partners at the National Weather Service, there has not, I got to repeat, has not been a confirmed touchdown with this particular storm. We are still monitoring, though, the possibility that these storms could drop a tornado at any point in time. So we got two storms that we're watching. That one that we're just talking about that has a tornado warning for Greene and Rock County. That's the one on the right side of your screen. The one that's kind of right along Route 26, south of Monroe, basically near Orangeville right now. That is going to be storm number 2. That was the first one to have a severe thunderstorm, or I'm sorry, a tornado warning attached to it. So this is number 1 right here, and this is number 2. And the movement on both of these is to the east, almost the east-northeast, at about 20 miles per hour. So I'll draw some tracks on these once again, just to give you a kind of a concept of time, the kind of time frame we're dealing with here. So this is storm number 1 near Orangeville right now, moving east-northeast at about 20 miles per hour. So that would put this generally over rural territories in northern Stevenson County and southeastern Greene County. But that gives you an idea of where that storm is heading over the course of the next 50 minutes or thereabouts. Storm number 2, and this is the one that definitely looks more impressive on radar. Again, also moving east-northeast at about 20 miles per hour. So we want to watch this one in Beloit, and we want to watch this one in Janesville because it's going to be interesting to see. A lot of times these storms don't necessarily move, straight northeast or straight east-northeast. A lot of times these will have a tendency that they'll want to maybe take a little bit of a right-hand turn. So if that's the case, that could be problematic for Beloit. That could be problematic for even South Beloit or Rockton. So we'll have to watch that one very, very closely and just kind of see how that particular storm behaves. But the expectation is that that storm is likely to stay over generally rural territory in southeastern Greene County for at least the next a few moments' time. Latest radar scan comes in not quite as impressive as the earlier scans. And to be honest right now, the radar scan of the storm in northern Stevenson County does not really do much for me. But again, this is more environment-based, not necessarily based off of the storm itself. This is just such an environment that there's so many little boundaries and little subtle features in the atmosphere that could cause for enhanced rotation right along a couple of these different boundaries. We are watching another cell that's starting to go up just to the north and west of Beloit along Highway 213, which runs northwest out of Beloit. Nothing severe with that particular cell just yet. Obviously, our main concerns, though, are centered around the two possibly tornadic storms. And again, we're in constant contact with the National Weather Service, so they're giving us an account of whether or not there are any spotters on the ground that can provide us with any eyewitness accounts of any actual funnel clouds or tornadic touchdowns. Again, we have not heard anything of the likes from them, at least to this point in time. These are radar indicated tornado. Additionally, earlier on, storms did have a threat for some hail. We are told by the National Weather Service that hail is not a concern with these two particular storms, but it is possible that some small hail could accompany these. So once again, these two tornado warnings are in effect here until 8:15. One of them is for far northern Stevenson County, which includes Orangeville, and then another one that's in effect until 8:15 for southeastern Greene County and southwestern Rock County. That again will go until 8:15. I'm just going to turn the radar off really quickly here so you can kind of see the towns that are actually in these warnings. And again, these are largely unpopulated areas, but Rock Grove, Spring Grove, then also Avon and Newark, those would be into southern portions of Wisconsin. This, again, does not include Beloit, does not include Janesville for the time being, and the Stevenson County storm does not include Freeport for the time being. But a tornado warning does continue for both of those areas. Anywhere shaded in red, you need to be in your basement right away, or the lowest level of your structure away from windows, obviously, as these storms could produce. Again, these storms, even though a tornado might not be going on right at this particular moment's time, these storms could very well produce a tornado in a matter of seconds. So these storms are to be taken seriously. These warnings are to be taken seriously. And we're going to continue to watch that storm, that cell that's really starting to increase in intensity just to the north of Beloit as well. No warning on that storm just yet, but some stronger thunderstorms are possible, stronger rumbles of thunder, heavier rain possible right along US 51 that comes out of downtown Beloit. That's Riverside Drive, the main north-south entity, main north-south artery that heads out of Beloit and up north towards Janesville. I'm just going to check my other computers here and just see if we have any updates from the National Weather Service. There's no new news, which again, this is one of those situations where no news is good news. Because we don't want to hear about there actually being a sighting. Recent scan makes this storm look somewhat impressive. The storm number one, again, looks to be falling apart, at least from a rainfall standpoint. But again, this is an environment-based situation where it's possible that even in some of these weaker storms, you could have a little bit of a spin-up that does take place. So that is the story for right now here. Again, we've got until 8:15 for these two tornado warnings. One that is over far northern Stevenson County that includes Orangeville. I feel fairly comfortable in saying that we're just moments away from being able to sound somewhat of an all clear in Orangeville, as the most impressive part of that storm has passed just east of Route 26, north of Cedarville. And south of Monroe, Wisconsin. But the more impressive storm, just from a radar standpoint right now, does look to be the storm that's entered southeastern Greene County and is now entering southwestern, or about to enter southwestern Rock County. This potentially tornadic storm has a tornado warning in effect until also 8:15. This does not include the town of Broadhead. And again, to reiterate, this does not include the cities of either Beloit or Janesville at this hour. We are just receiving word from the National Weather Service that they are indeed going ahead and issuing a tornado warning for northwestern Winnebago County. Tornado warning for northwestern Winnebago County. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, you will probably hear the sirens in the entire county. Rest assured that the Rockford Metro is not at risk from this, nor is any of the mainly largely populated portions of Winnebago County. This is just the far northwestern slice of Winnebago County, which would include Lake Somerset, which obviously kind of straddles the Winnebago and Stevenson County line. Just going to pop my head out the door real quick to hear if I hear sirens that are blaring. Yes, the sirens are going off here at our studios on the far west side of Rockford in Winnebago County. Again, there is not a threat in the city of Rockford. The sirens may cause you to be overly concerned, and I totally get that, but I need to be 100% clear that there is no threat for a tornado right now in the city of Rockford. This is for the far northwestern portions of Winnebago County where this tornado warning is in effect. Let me get the latest from the National Weather Service in Chicago regarding their decision to issue this warning for Winnebago County. This again also is going to go until 8:15. So we're looking at the area right near Lake Somerset. which basically straddles the Stevenson and the Stevenson and Winnebago County line, and it leads you right up to the Wisconsin border. This is a radar indicated tornado. It is not, there's no confirmed touchdown that has taken place. This is a radar indicated tornado, which will remain over mainly rural areas of northwestern Winnebago County. The only populated area that we're concerned about really with this storm in Winnebago County would be Lake Somerset. So that tornado warning is coming due to, I'm reading the National Weather Service's rationale here into having issued that warning. And let me pull this up here. It cites the rotation kind of tightening up on the radar and the storm motion. Remember, just a few minutes ago, we said that oftentimes these storms don't necessarily move in just one direction, that they have a tendency to maybe make a little bit of a turn, and that's kind of what what's been observed here. So they've kind of taken that step out of an abundance of caution to issue that tornado warning for Winnebago County. Again, movement is to the east, almost east-northeast at about 20 miles per hour. So this will keep it over generally rural territory. The latest here from the National Weather Service in the Quad Cities regarding the Stevenson County storm, confirmed tornado near Orangeville. The public reported, and we've got a couple of these now here. The public has reported a tornado 2 miles northwest of Lake Somerset, and that was at 7:31 this evening. So a tornado warning with a confirmed a confirmed tornado that was reported around 7:31, and I'm trying to get some of the specifics here from the National Weather Service. But yeah, there certainly is more in the way of rotation showing up. I'm looking at the rotation on a different computer right now, and this tight rotation is showing up on the radar basically at the intersection of the Stevenson, Winnebago, and Greene County line. So very, very close to Lake Somerset. And this is where it gets a little confusing, because this tiny little storm is actually traveling into areas that are served by 3 different National Weather Service offices. So in Stevenson County, we get the information from the National Weather Service in the Quad Cities. In Winnebago County, it comes from the National Weather Service in Chicago. And in Rock and Greene County, that goes for the National Weather Service in Milwaukee. So we're kind of bouncing back and forth between all these different chat rooms that we're in here on our computer. So it's nice that we actually get some input from a variety of different sources here. You get a little more data interpretation that's taking place. It gives us a little more information, which is beneficial. So once again, if you've heard the sirens in Winnebago County, fear not. You are not at risk if you are in the city of Rockford, if you are in Machesney Park, Loves Park, Cherry Valley, Pecatonica, Winnebago. No problems expected. The only community of size that is affected by this potentially tornadic storm would be up towards Lake Somerset. And we're going to zoom in here much closer here just to give you an idea of some of the smaller communities that may be at risk from this particular storm. So in fact, the main area of rotation is passed just to the north of Lake Somerset. Again, there has been a report of a confirmed tornado near Lake Somerset within the past 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes here. Whether or not that it came I would presume that it came from the western side of Lake Somerset, the side that is in Stevenson County. If it was time-stamped several minutes ago, I would imagine that that's where this potential tornado may have touched down. But again, this is from the National Weather Service in the Quad Cities. At 7:45, confirmed tornado is located just to the south of Monroe, just to the Orangeville. And again, the public also reported a tornado 2 miles northwest of Lake Somerset. And that would have been at 7:31. I think that might have been a typo on their part, but that's a different story for a different day. Let's check on Storm number 2, or the first storm that prompted the issuance of the tornado warning, presently just to the south and east of Orangeville. I want to animate this here if we can, and just kind of get an idea of the actual motion of these particular storms. And we're going to slow this down here so we can get a better idea of how this little storm is behaving. Yeah, it really did kind of just come out of nowhere. Right there, you saw that, and that was, let's see, we'll stop this. So just, what are we sitting at, 7:51. A half hour ago, that storm was nothing, and then that quickly blossomed, and you could kind of see that little notch that developed right here, this little hook. That's where we saw the rotation develop right in there, and that tightened up really quickly here. That was about 15 minutes ago, and that's when I suspect that there was the report of the tornado north and west of Lake Somerset. It does now appear, though, it's increasingly evident to me that the worst of this storm is now moving into Rock County, southwestern Rock County. Don't want to sound the all clear for Winnebago County just yet, but we're getting closer here to being able to do so. The Stevenson County radar does not impress me at all. Again, though, we are in an environment here where storms, no matter how unimpressive they may look on the radar, we're in an environment where these tiny little circulations can try to spin up. And so I think it's a precautionary move to keep the warning in effect here for Stevenson County for the next 20 minutes, even though the radar picture does not look as impressive as it did earlier on. But we now do know that the National Weather Service in the Quad Cities has said a tornado was confirmed near Lake Somerset, or just to the northwest of Lake Somerset, to the tune of some 2 miles. And they timestamped that at 7:31. So let's just see what the storm was doing at 7:31. And yeah, it does look so around that time. There was certainly a little notch that was developing there just to the northeast of Rock Grove, just to the north and west of Lake Somerset. So wouldn't surprise me that that's indeed where we did have the reports of a confirmed tornado. Now, the rotation does not look nearly as impressive now moving into southern Wisconsin. It does not look quite as impressive as it did earlier on. But again, the environment is one that is still very much conducive to a spin up over rural portions of southwestern Rock County. Again, if you heard the sirens and you're seeing on the bottom of your screen the crawl that's running about a tornado warning for Stevenson County, for Winnebago County, for Rock County, or Greene County, I want to just tell everybody right now, these tornado warnings do not include any of our major metropolitan areas. If you are watching us here in the Rockford Metro and you heard the sirens, this is one of those things. Unfortunately, the sirens are sounded for the entire county, no matter what part of the county is under the warning. So if you're in Cherry Valley, you might look outside and you say, what in the world is going on? That's just how it goes. Even though it's just a small part of the far northwestern part of the county, those sirens are very unnerving. But again, we can assure you that there is no threat in Rockford or McChesney Park. If there was 1 or 2 communities, of course, Lake Somerset, Durand, this is close enough that I would want to keep a close eye on this. Same story for South Beloit and Rockton. Beloit itself, that's going to be a close call, depending on if this storm continues on its east-northeastward trajectory or if it makes more of a right turn and heads more due easterly. That's going to remain to be seen. The National Weather Service in the Quad Cities is basically about to pull the plug on the tornado warning for Stevenson County. So that will come soon. I would imagine Greene County, you'll probably be pulled from your severe thunder or from your tornado warning here fairly quickly as well. The Weather Service in Chicago has just chimed in saying the weakening, there has been a weakening trend, and yeah, we're kind of seeing that too on the radar that you see on your screen, and another one that I'm looking at that's not broadcast quality The weakening is continuing to show up. They're going to maintain the warning for northwestern Winnebago County for just a little bit more to be safe. But the expectation is that that warning will be taken down before we reach the 8 o'clock hour, or before we reach the 8:15 scheduled expiration time. We have not heard from our colleagues in Milwaukee on their intention to do anything with the warning. Here's they just did send an updated bulletin. Tornado warning remains in effect until 8:15 for southeastern Greene and southwestern Rock counties. The confirmed tornado, there still was a confirmed tornado near Lake Somerset, and that was as recently as 7:53. Now the movement is to the east at 15 miles per hour. The initial tornado appeared to be right around 7:31, about 2 miles to the northwest of Lake Somerset. And the movement is to the east at 15 miles per hour. And again, Newark and Avon, those are our two towns in southwestern Rock County that we need to be on the lookout. A tornado is on the ground. If you are anywhere in southwestern Rock County, generally rural territory, but still if you are in southwestern Rock County, this is the time to take cover now. We are told a tornado has been observed as recently as 7:53. It initiated around 7:31 this evening. And so we've got a storm that has produced a tornado, maybe not during that entire time, but for a good chunk of that time. Between 7:31 and 7:53. Now, oftentimes these things can drop a tornado. It lifts up, it drops another one, it lifts up, and that is indeed something that is on the table. That's not to say that this is the same tornado that's been on the ground for that entire time. It could very well be. We just don't know, and it may be some time until we do know. You saw that Stevenson County just got dropped from the tornado warning, so we got the all clear for Stevenson County. We should be pretty close to sounding the all clear for Winnebago County. This storm will bring a good shot of rain to South Beloit and maybe Rockton as well, primarily the north and west sides of Rockton. But the storm looks a lot less impressive on the radar picture right now, which that is obviously some very good news, and we certainly hope for that trend to continue as we move forward. Let me just read what the National Weather Service from the Quad Cities has basically cited the fact that the storm that prompted the issuance of the warning has since moved out of the area, so no need to continue the tornado warning there. As far as Winnebago County goes, though, again, the hope is, fingers crossed, we'll be able to drop that warning here very, very quickly as we reach the top of the hour. It should be only a matter of moments before the warning for Winnebago County is canceled. Rock County, that's where things kind of remain to be seen. We've gotten no inclination one way or the other from the National Weather Service office in Milwaukee whether or not they intend to continue the warning, especially given that the storm, just from a radar standpoint, looks much less impressive than it did, even 5-10 minutes ago. Where would I see there being a possible, where would I see the areas of greatest concern with that storm? It would be just to the west of Newark here. This little notch that you see on the radar, that is where, if there is still a tornado that's ongoing with this particular storm, it would be in that particular area. So again, we're talking right along the Illinois-Wisconsin state line, and that may be another reason why the Weather Service office in Chicago hasn't yet taken down the warning for Winnebago County, simply because it's so close. Now that rotation, that latest scan, the notch doesn't look nearly as pronounced. That's a good sign. That's a sign that maybe, knocking on wood here, that the rotational signatures are continuing to weaken. That is our hope. But again, without eyes on the storm itself, it's kind of impossible for us to say outside of what we're seeing on our own radar picture right now. No new bulletins from the Weather Service. I'm going to wait here. We're going to stay on the air here until at least the Weather Service office in Chicago drops Winnebago County from the warning. As soon as we do that, as soon as that happens to be the case, we will likely conclude at least this element of our coverage. One thing I do want to take a closer look at here is another storm that's starting to perk up in western Stephenson County or northern Stephenson County, just to the east of Winslow. In the past few moments, this storm kind of went from nothing to really starting to pulse up. So we'll have to watch and see if this one starts to increase in intensity. It's that one that's nearly just about to reach Route 26. It's essentially halfway between 73 and 26 in far northern portions of Stephenson County. Again, no warning attached to that storm just yet, but that is one that is going to be worth watching, to say the very least. Of course, our principal concern right now, though, is for southeastern or southwestern portions of Rock County, probably looking at just to the south of Newark. You see a couple little jagged little notches there, one southwest of Newark, one just due south of Newark. And again, these are just hugging right along the Illinois-Wisconsin border. So if we get even a tiny southerly kick in either of these notches, that is a possibility that it could graze Winnebago County. Again, we're kind of watching this along with you. And the expectation, or at least the hope, moving forward, is that that these notches become even less and less pronounced, and the rotational signatures become dissipate. I mean, that would be in an ideal world. That would be our best case scenario. One other thing I think we should probably mention here is the fact that this is only the first round of storms that we're likely to see. Another one, another cluster of storms is racing southeastward out of Minnesota and now into Iowa, and these could be here within the far northwestern portions of the viewing area, so out toward Galena. Those could be here as early as 9:30 tonight. So that's going to be something that we'll have to watch as we move forward here in the next couple of hours. Obviously, our main focus will continue to be here in the immediate term on the potentially tornadic storm. I say potentially because the radar picture does not look as impressive, certainly doesn't look as impressive as it did 5-10 minutes ago, but it is still capable of producing a tornado. And again, there was a confirmed tornado near Lake Somerset earlier on. The Weather Service now says they're watching another area of rotation near approaching I-90. Let's see. Let's zoom in on that a little bit. On the east side, just south of Janesville. And that, boy, I tell you, it's not, I don't know if they're referencing the storm that's just northeast of Beloit, or if they're looking at a storm that's on the west side of Beloit. It'll be interesting to get their perspective. No warning on that one right now, but they are watching that, and now they just said that storm probably died. So you turn your head once, and it just goes away. Let's see here. That really is the only news of only new development over the course of the last several minutes, is that storm was starting to perk up close to I-90, but is no longer a source of concern. So with that said, we are going to send it back to programming here. We'll keep a close eye on these, and if anything new comes between now and 8:15, the scheduled expiration time of this tornado warning, we'll certainly come back on the air. But in the meantime, stay safe, everyone. I do not want anybody in these red highlighted areas. I don't want anybody coming up from the basement just yet, because this is still an ominous, it's an atmosphere that's very conducive for these quick spin-ups to happen. And even though there might not be a tornado occurring right at this time, that wouldn't preclude new ones new spin-ups from taking place. So wait the warnings out. You only have another 9 minutes to wait, probably 8.5 minutes to wait. 8:15 is the scheduled expiration, and we've had no indication from any of the Weather Service offices that they plan on extending the warning or issuing a new warning or anything along those lines. But of course, we will keep a close eye on these storms as they continue to move slowly off to the east. Tornado warning for Winnebago County is going to be allowed to expire. So we're going to see that go off of our screen here very shortly. And again, I expect that the Rock County warning will likely be allowed to expire fairly quickly as well. If there is any new, if there are any new developments, we will be sure to come back on the air and update you on our social media platforms as well. Until then, we'll keep a close eye on new storms that are likely to form or likely to arrive here sometime between about 9 and 10 o'clock tonight. We'll now send it back to your regular programming. Thanks so much for being with us.